Howdy folks, Jacob V from here, and I apologize for not being able to do the live because it was just too cloudy for me to be able to do anything. However, we are here at timeanddate.com, and they are doing their live coverage right now. They're right here in Morocco, and they have Santiago, Chile. So you've got two different views here, and I'm going to hit pause and play at different times so that way we can kind of keep an eye on it, and we'll see it in its different phases. And so I'll hit pause and then hit play and record so that way we can kind of see it throughout its different phases for the remainder of the video. I apologize for not being able to do a live with you guys. It really kind of stunk. I was actually really looking forward to it. I had my scope out and had some music ready to go. I was ready to try and have a good evening of it. But this is what we're seeing for now. And here we are just a few more minutes into it. As we can see, we've got a really nice coverage going on right here. I really like to see this. But what I'm really looking forward to is when this thing starts coming over this way. Once it gets to about 3/4, we should start seeing the blood red color showing up on the eastern limb of the moon. Before anybody tries doing any copyright, I do under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107 copyright disclaimer. In this here, we're looking at Copernic Observatory and Science Center. I highly recommend following these guys as well. They're actually a non-profit observatory, which I personally like. That means they're not paid by all the big guys. You know, they're a private corporation, private business, private company, privately owned, not owned by NASA or any of the big guys. This guy here, Jeremy Cartier, I've actually been looking into him, and he seems like a very nice, very humble, very smart young man. They were hoping to raise $1,000. They're already at like $1,400, and like the excitement on his face to just get that much, it just shows their not just their humility, but their struggle of being a nonprofit. Which, hey, I think we should support the little guys, you know. And even though they're bigger, hey, you know what? They're not owned by the big corporations. They're not funded by them. They're not told what to do or what to say. They do their own thing as they see fit, and those are the kinds of individuals that I like. This gentleman also had a question about the moon being a resting center for travelers back and forth to Earth, and he straight out said, yes, the moon is a resting place for travelers to come to and from Earth. So they pretty much openly talk about what's going on. So I'll actually switch back and forth between here. Copernic Observatory is actually in New York, which is really good. The other guys are down in some other parts of the country, so I'll kind of switch back and forth between the two for all of us, so we can get different views of it. And here we are live, and this one's in Santiago, Chile, and then we have Morocco over here, and here in Santiago, Chile. Look at this, we're already starting to get that nice little pinkish hue, so we are getting closer, folks. This is actually getting quite excited. Who else is excited? I'm excited. I love this stuff. I really do. This should be fantastic. The footage here is by the Institut de Astrofísica. I might have said that wrong, and I apologize for anyone who speaks Spanish. I'm not very up on my Spanish, that's for sure. And here we can see they were actually expecting to only get $1,000, and they got $2,000 raised already. That's fantastic. I'm so happy for these guys that they were able to raise this. It really is. That's wonderful. And we have 36 minutes and 54 seconds until totality. So we're getting there, folks. It's coming. Look at that nice little impact crater that we got there. Let me zoom in on this. Enlarge this up a little bit for us. There we go. Beautiful to see. Wow, it's very, very clear that you can see the mirage effect on the moon from the atmosphere, from the heat. So that's legit right there. It's kind of hard to fake that. And this is time and date. We'll come back over here again. And this is what I like to see actually. If you look up, if you look in the upper right corner, they moved over to Sudbury, Canada. And you can see where it's kind of cloudy there, but then we have the one right here. Each one has a little something different. If you look over on the left side of the screen, you can see the partial starts and then the totality starting and where it ends. So we should be able to see the different color phases. Both of them have different countdowns, and it's quite nice. They both have different views of it. One's a little bit brighter than the other, and you got Ken in the upper right. This is actually quite fun. I'm having a good time, even though I'm not live with you guys being able to do it. Here they are in Santiago, Chile. They moved the camera around a little bit, and you can see we're starting to get that little more of that pinkish hue as we're about halfway. This is really neat, folks. It's beautiful. Now, if you guys can notice, up here in Santiago, Chile, it looks like it's almost completely gone. The moon is. Well, Santiago, Chile, if we look here on the map, you can see right here that this is the location. Like Santiago, Chile is literally right smack in the middle. As a matter of fact, right here it is on the map. They're right smack in the middle of where the totality is going to be. Right down in here. So they are like right in the middle of it. They're in the perfect location. Now this is Tucson, Arizona here that they have now. So let's go ahead and click on this and we'll see Tucson, Arizona in the upper right, and then right here in front of us we have Morocco. So yeah, Santiago, Chile is definitely the best would be the best location for it right now. Now what this gentleman has done over here, Mr. Jeremy Cartier, he has actually changed the brightness on the moon. So you can see on the upper side where it's really, really bright, and then it actually allows us to see the blood red part here by turning the brightness up. See, remember before it was a little bit darker and all you saw was a shadow? Well, by him turning the brightness up, it allows you to see the angstroms of light, because, you know, as it's moving into a certain color, that's what's giving us the red, from the visibility of the light, the refraction of light, because you got, you know, blue and yellow and red. And that's why we're now able to see the red coming through as he turned it up, so you can see more of the color of the light. You see here, he actually turned it back down, so he was showing people the difference in the color. See, now here he turned it back down, and now it's more gray. That's just kind of how it works. So when you turn it up, you can see it. Hopefully he'll do some readjusting so we can actually see more of the red. Because I actually kind of happen to like the visibility. It seems to be more clear on these guys here. Now as we jump back over here to Morocco, check this out. The main one that we're looking at, they've turned the brightness up so we can see more of the color. Where on the upper right, it's the darker gray. So they've actually got a nice contrast going on there. That's pretty cool. And you can still see the craters and stuff of the Earth. I think if they manage to keep it this way, we'll be able to see some beautiful reds on that moon. And here's one from San Diego, California. That's actually pretty neat as well. I think that you actually get from feed from different observatories across the globe, and they're kind of patching into them wherever the clear ones are, and then they put it into the live feed for us to see, which is actually really neat. And we are 17 and a half minutes from totality, which is great. But hey, guys, look at this. They got $2.3 thousand, and they were only hoping for 1,000. I am so happy for them. I mean, these guys got to be ecstatic. This really helps them out with like cleaning their equipment and servicing it, making sure all the tracks are lubricated for their equipment for rotating around. Man, I'm happy for these guys. That's great. I love to see when the little guys get their expectations just blown out of the water. It's very humbling. Let's go ahead and full screen on this for a couple minutes. There we go. Look at that. I'm sure before too long he'll actually turn up the brightness and we'll be able to see the color on it. That would be great. I just want to say that I really love you guys, and I love this. This stuff just, it amazes me. Always has since I was a kid. Our ancestors, they used to look up to the stars and they used to study the heavens. And I've been drawn to it ever since I was a kid. With reincarnation, maybe it's something that I did in a past life, and that's why I'm so drawn to it. What do you guys think? Here they're looking at San Diego, California. Look at that, almost there. Getting closer, folks. This is great. Morocco's just got a little sliver on it. It's fantastic. This guy is so happy. Look at the smile on this guy's face. Not only have they raised over 2.6 thousand, but they've got over 22,000 people watching. I was watching earlier, and he said that he would be happy to have at least 5,000 people watching. And when it got up to over 10,000, he was like, "Oh my gosh, we've never had this many people watching." So like these guys are just ecstatic. I love it when small businesses and small companies just do really well, better than what they expected. That's just awesome. See now, right here, you can see how he's dimming the light down, and you can see the shadow coming across more. It's just because he's dimming it. You saw it go from brighter to dimmer. So he will brighten it up here after a little bit, and you will be able to see more of the colors. Now we're here at Morocco. Look at this right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks like there's some kind of a light here just underneath the moon. Just kind of hovering and hanging out there. I'm not sure what that is, but that's pretty interesting. Back over here with these guys. He actually just left his chair to get up and adjust the scope a little bit. We've just got this little sliver left. Oh, there he is. He's back. Wow, you can actually see the peaks. They got a pretty good telescope here. You can see the mountain range here. And you can see the little peaks and the little mountain range here. This is fantastic. I mean, you can see that it's not perfectly round. You can see that it's kind of wavy from the, not just from the atmosphere, our atmosphere looking at it, but you can see it's like a high ridge point here and another high one here. That's a pretty good scope they got. You guys look at this right over here, Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if that's their cursor. But, it must be their cursor. I was gonna say, I just seen it moving around. I was like, what in the heck was that? That would have been something. But no, I think it was their cursor. Gosh dang it. That would have been something to catch on live. Wouldn't you agree? Like everybody see it? Like, what was that? I think it's their cursor. Here we are back over here at Kaepernick. It looks like he's adjusting the scope again. We just got this teeny little sliver left. One minute to totality. It's fantastic. It really is. You want to know something else is fantastic? Man, these guys are just killing it. Look at this, 2.9 thousand. These guys are doing great. Let's see how many people are watching. 25,000 people watching. Look at the grin on his face. He's just, he doesn't even know what to do with himself. And we are at totality, folks. I will be doing a second video, so make sure you watch both. So that way I'll actually catch it as red as possible, and then as we're coming out of it as well. So make sure you're keeping an eye on that. See, now he's adjusting the brightness so you can see a little more of the color on it. Nice. Here we are. He adjusted the brightness of it, and now we're able to see more of the red. Isn't that beautiful? I'm thinking that this right here is a star of some sort. And it looks like we got one over here that's kind of shining every once in a while. We can kind of see him blinking in and out over here. And we got another one right down here. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2.